Is there anything worse than duffing your irons or hitting them high and weak? Well, that is exactly what was happening to one of our recent lessons.
Yes, and in today's video, we're going to share with you the 3 simple steps that we did with him that got him consistently compressing his irons and adding an extra 20 yards to them. And the 3rd step was the critical one, and that's why we've got the monster wedge here. All will be explained.
Absolutely. Now, look, if you are serious about improving your game this year, then make sure you don't miss one of our videos by hitting that subscribe button, and also let us know down below in the comments what help you need with your game.
Let's get into the 1st step then. First step was grip, the crucial grip that he wasn't thinking about. Let's go through what he was doing, Simon, and then we'll go through what we did that really helped him.
So what Simon was doing was he was holding it too high in the palm, very common fault, and then from there, as his hand closes on the golf club, he can't see any of these top knuckles. So he can't see any knuckles. It's a very weak grip. We call it weak because it wants to open the face and add loft to it, which is obviously the problem. So as soon as he's holding the golf club like this now, it's going to make the club face get really open throughout his golf swing, and then he has to throw in a load of compensations in order to try and square that face up. So this is what we did. We went to town on this lead hand, and the True Grip glove obviously helps this. We're going to make sure the leading edge is pointing straight up, and I want you to hold the golf club underneath so you are running the club through the bottom of the fingers like so. And then from there, you're just going to rotate your hand around, making sure that leading edge is pointing straight up. Really important, it's still square, that face. So when I'm looking at this now, I can see all 4 of those knuckles. By the time I then put the club down, my arm kind of gets in the way a little bit, and I've got 1, 2, maybe 2.5 knuckles there. From here, Simon has a chance.
And it felt very weird to Simon to start with because his hand was in a completely different position. Look, the thumb is ever so slightly down to the right-hand side of the club here, which is key. But it's so important that this is right because it then shapes the rest of the swing and helps you square the club face. This is step 1 in our Pure Your Iron system.
The good thing about this is that this is actually probably the easier change to make.
Yeah.
If you had to go from too far this way to the other way, that actually becomes really difficult. I'm going to hit one, Andy, and then from there I can see 2, maybe 2.5 knuckles in that grip. Again, it's really hard for me to go anywhere near the right by
it is. It changes the club face instantly without you having to think about it. So that was the first thing that we did. The second thing really that Simon was struggling with, this was leading him to really hit the golf ball off centre, and he even hit a couple of shanks. And just the balance and posture, he was just off. And when the balance is off on the feet, it really stops you from moving in a very efficient way. So let's just go through exactly what he was doing for us, Piers.
It's interesting because when you spoke to me about this before and we said this is what we're going to do with Simon, it was like you said he almost doesn't have any weight on his heels at setup. Sometimes we look to try and get the weight into the balls of our feet, and a lot of golfers are trying to get the weight in their toes, and sometimes you don't even see that the heels are virtually in the air. I've got a few lessons of mine that come to mind where the heels are actually in the air. Now as soon as you do this, you can't really get a good wind up on the way back. My balance is being compromised. I'm swinging back, almost trying to feel like I just got to stop myself from falling over. And then as soon as you apply the power in here, again, I'm moving towards the golf ball. And if that face is open as well, you combine those 2 things, it's very easy to shank the golf ball out to the right.
Think about the coverage as well. You imagine trying to hit shots on your tiptoes. You can't really use the ground. It's just a less severe reaction to that.
Yeah.
So what we did with Simon, we used an alignment stick or this balance trainer, which Piers is going to show you here, to really educate him on how and where the weight should be.
What we're looking for here is we were looking to find our center in our balance. So if I would just rock from toe to heel, so I can feel what the heels are like, I can feel what the toes are like, and then find somewhere in the middle to settle. And then from there now I'm ready to move. Now I've got balance, so when I'm swinging back, I'm actually able to keep that balance a lot better.
So much so, made a big difference to the strike. But as soon as you put something under the feet, what Simon felt was, it was like, oh yeah, all the weight is ahead of the balance trainer.
He was feeling this,
he was feeling that, and it's easy to feel when you've got something underneath the feet. And all I wanted to feel with Simon was he got 50% front, 50% back, and then that got him a lot more stable, which enabled him to help find the middle of the face just a little more consistently, really.
It even works really well. You think, well, obviously this is a lot bigger than an alignment stick, but an alignment stick, it works just as well for getting that feeling of what you're after. Okay, so now when you're ready to hit it, you can even play that game now. You can actually go from toes to heels, find the one in the middle. Easy for me to say, Andy.
Most golfers are not thinking about the balance like that, but it is Can't tell you how crucial it is.
We do this with Aaron. Every time Aaron warms up before he goes out and plays golf, he has one of these underneath.
Aaron Rye, that is, PGA Tour.
They know who he is, Andy.
They don't know who he is. They
who
don't
he
know.
is.
Not everybody knows
He's
who he
leading
is.
the tournament at the moment.
Okay, Monster Wedge. This was really the most important thing, because the grip was leading to the mistake with the club face, and then the mistake with the club face was leading to the over the top swing. Just showed what was happening with the face, Pierce. Even though we changed the grip with him, the club face was still letting him down. So just show what was happening.
Yeah, so even, like you say, even though the grip had changed, there's still a motion in the way back where there's maybe too much rotation from the forearms, getting the leading edge pointing a long way behind me. When I get to the top of the backswing, the toe is pointing down to the ground.
This cup here was very present with Simon. And as soon as we cupped the wrist, this club face, as you can see on the Monster Wedge here, the toe was down. I'll show a square face, just show a square face. This is now a square face where the leading edge is matching Pierce's lead arm here. But when we get that wrist cupped, it was causing, as Pierce is demonstrating there, this over-the-top move.
So as soon as this face gets open, let's show you this again. So it's toe too much up, toe too much down, and then as you're swinging down from here, if you were to do a great golf swing from here on the way down, a really good golf swing on the way down, where you shallow the club and drive the body, club face is miles open. It's literally going to shank up and hit Andy. Not a bad idea. But what we have to do to get this club face back towards the target, we have to somehow throw it over the top and also scoop like this. This gives us a chance of getting the loft pointing back at the target. But guess what? It also makes us cut across the golf ball, and it also makes the loft point very much up in the air, and we can also bottom out before the ground. So pure shots aren't going to happen from there.
Pretty much every move in the golf swing you see, almost every move, is reaction to the club face. So this is what we did. I'm going to show you what we did, because as soon as we did this with Simon, this is where he gained the speed. This is what really got him hitting it 20 yards further, but it also got him swinging on plane. So here was the move. Pierce has demonstrated it beautifully there. We got him swinging back to parallel here to the ground, making sure that the leading edge was actually matching his spine. This was the first checkpoint. Now, the first time he did this, he got it a little bit wrong. I'm just going to show you what he did. So he actually just put it in place with his arms. So do that again, Pierce, for us. So he just put it in place with his arms and didn't really turn into place. When you do this, you really want to make sure that you move to that point. So what's the difference here when Pierce moves to that point? He's got to wind up with the torso here. His hips, his torso are moving, and that leading edge now is matching from there. That was the first rehearsal. The second thing we did to the top of the swing.
It's heavy, this is.
It is heavy.
The Monster Wedge is heavy.
It's good training.
There we go.
So the second thing we did here was, once we got to here, we just turned to the top, and Simon just felt, I'm just going to swing a little shorter, Pierce, here. Simon felt that all his focus was just flattening this wrist off, really making sure that when this wrist is flat, the face was doing a good job. The great thing about this is, if we get to that position at the top, it's very hard to get it wrong on the way down. Your body then starts to react.
Still possible, but very hard.
Your body starts to react in a better way, and without even doing anything any different, the whole golf swing started to change, where the club started to move on plane. Let's hit a couple of shots actually, Pierce, and show you what we did, because here's the progression of how you can practice this. First thing to do is to maybe go to here, check where you are, swing to the top, feel the face, and then from there, we can actually hit the shot. We can actually just pause, feel it, and then go. And that ball's gone slightly left, which is a good thing. So just having some pause drills, because sometimes when we swing, we don't really know what's going on, and it happens so fast. So I'd recommend that when you do this, take your time, feel where you are at the top. If you want to stop at the top and just go, okay, is it flat? Great.
Yeah, it's flat.
Then go. Not the best shot there, but that happens when you can pause.
It's about being able to swing down with a square face. It's not so much about, so you can tee it up a little bit. It's not about speed and power. It's about knowing and guaranteeing, because all we need to do is we need to guarantee that this wrist here at the top is flatter when you're doing that.
Exactly,
change.
yeah. So the next thing really from there was just slow swings. How do I now go from, okay, pausing, to then slower swings where you just feel that we get in place. There you go. And then through, and you can see that ball coming out with a nice low draw, because that face and left wrist is so much different. If you want to get more energy to the ball and more speed, the club face being stronger is certainly one key thing that enabled him to do that as well. So good rehearsal, nice and slow, nice little draw again there. But the slowness is what helps you build the pattern into actually making it more comfortable.
So I think a combination of those drills is great for the driving range, but maybe this is what you want to be doing if you go on the golf course. You swing back and you check. You go to the top and you check. And then when you're about to hit the shot, you have a little waggle, and then you go back into just hitting shots. And that's just going to be it's just going to be a way of you progressing it from the range to the golf course.
It's amazing the difference it made in Simon's golf swing. Like, he has some speed now. He's hitting the golf ball so much further and just pure, really, in no time at all. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, then make sure you check out our Pure Your Iron system by clicking right here. And don't forget to download the Me and My Golf app. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon.